This example is going to look at using a rectangle to factor a quadratic with an a coefficient. Once again, we'll use the expression 12x squared plus 13x minus 4. And like all of these problems, we start by multiplying the a and the c. So 12 times negative 4 gives us negative 48. So we're still going to be looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 48 and two numbers that add to 13. So like we'd normally do, we can make a list of factors of 48. And then we can see from this list 3 and 16 is a possibility. And to get positive 13, we'll want to use positive 16 and negative 3 in order to satisfy both of the conditions that we need. Now, for the rectangle, we want to think of this geometrically. So we want to think of area of a rectangle and how this rectangle will always be set up. You'll have the ax squared term in the top left corner. You'll have your constant in the bottom right corner. And then with your x's, you'll have the first number and the second number that you found by looking for the product and the sum earlier. So let's take our expression here and set it up in the rectangle. So 12x squared will have plus 16x we'll have minus 3x, and we'll have minus 4. So again, I'm taking these two terms are the same, and then the middle term gets split into the two numbers that we found. Now, the way to use the rectangle is we greatest common factor each row and each column. So I'll take 12x squared and 16x. I notice 12 and 16 are both divisible by 4, and both of them have an x. So the greatest common factor is 4x. Then I'll look at the negative 3x and the negative 4. They don't have an x, and neither of them are divisible by anything other than 1. And because the negatives in the front here, I'm going to use the negative for my sign. So whatever sign is closest to the left or closest to the top, that's the sign that you'll use. So let's take it out of the columns now. So then I look at the 12x squared and the negative 3x. They're both divisible by 3, and both of them have an x. Then I look at the 16 and the 4. They're both divisible by 4. Again, notice this term is positive, so I'm going to use a plus sign when I take it out. And so what we have inside the rectangle is 4 separate rectangles that we added all up to get the area of this large rectangle. And what we now have is the lengths and widths of each of the rectangles, which then we can add together to get the lengths and the widths of the entire rectangle. So therefore, my factors are 4x minus 1 and 3x plus 4. And I could verify this by multiplying it out and using the distributive property.